G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Now, if you love this bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chug a prawn of the Barbie, and get ready for it. Let's go. My husband's sister moved into our home for a temporary amount of time, but now refuses to leave. To give some context beforehand, when my husband and I were building our new build, the house we currently own and reside in, we had to stay with my in-laws. They were nice enough to ease that bit of financial burden on us while our house was being built. During the time there, my husband's sister, 22, was living there with her 2 kids and 1 baby on the way. Well, least to say, I hated living there, especially around her. She's messy, dirty, doesn't pick up after herself or her kids, doesn't clean around the home, doesn't contribute to any of the household income, nothing. She's never had a job and doesn't even know how to drive, so for obvious reasons, she doesn't have an income. Fast forward to my husband and I living in our new 5-bedroom home. His sister ended up moving in with her baby daddy. We thought that they were doing fine until she came crying to us, literally knocking at our doorstep in the middle of the night, saying the baby daddy kicked her out because he's tired of her. I felt so bad for her that we let her stay at our place. I asked her what happened, and she said that he's done. So her baby daddy and I aren't the closest, but I did ask him if everything was okay, just because she has a tendency to lie sometimes. Baby daddy said that he was tired of coming home to a dirty home, to eat fast food all the time because she doesn't know how to cook, to having their sons constantly sick because all they eat is ramen and fast food. He's tired of it. He told me that he shouldn't have to work 12-hour days and come home to a mess, nothing cooked, etc. Before she moved in with baby daddy, I encouraged my husband's sister to learn how to cook, that I could teach her, but she declined. It's been 2 months now since we let her stay at our house. Luckily, it's big enough, but she doesn't pull her weight around the home. I'm tired of waking up to screaming kids while I'm currently pregnant myself. I'm tired of seeing the living room a mess while she sleeps late until 1 p.m. I'm tired of her freeloading off of our stuff. I refuse to cook more than I have to. I let her figure it out herself. My husband buys her food or fast food, but I told him not to do that. I told him it's not our or his responsibility to have to be providing for the babies either. The babies I'll give a snack to. I'll make sure they're eating right, but it's still not my responsibility. I told my husband that I was tired of it, and he said there was nothing he can do because that's his sister. I told him that she could go live with either one of his parents since they're divorced. She has plenty of options and family, but she says she doesn't want to be a handful for them because of the kids. Well, frankly, she's a handful for me too. In one instance, there was a handful of dirty dishes that had been stacking up for the day while my husband and I worked. They were all from her and the babies. I was so mad, I washed them all, and she asked if I was nesting. Some of our family members came unexpectedly, and in front of them all, I said, "No, I'm not nesting. I'm cleaning up the dirty dishes you've let yourself accumulate and not even care to wash." She gave me the dirtiest of looks. I told my husband to talk about her leaving, and she won't leave. She just won't. I told him it's either me and the family he has decided to create with me, or his sister. I told him that until she's out of this house, I will be leaving and I won't be coming back. It's began to take such a toll on my marriage with my husband, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm not sure what to do anymore. How do I make her leave my home? How do I make my husband understand that I don't want her here? She is not my responsibility. You know, it's your home as well. You're within your right to kick her out. You can either leave it in the hands of your husband, who doesn't seem willing to do much about it, or go to your sister-in-law yourself and tell her that she has 30 days to find a new place, while telling your husband that if she isn't gone by then, you'll be the one leaving. If she has the tiniest bit of common sense, she would rather leave than destroy her brother's marriage. I hope. I can't believe she has children while still being such a child herself. You have done what has been needed. You set a guideline for your husband. Now it's up to him to be a limp dick or not. His responsibilities are to you. He married you, has begun a family with you. His sister is messing with this relationship, and he needs to fix this before he tries to help his sister. Now you have to back up what you have said. If you don't, you will lose all credibility when making future threats. Tell him your time limit. Once crossed, be gone. No exceptions. Doesn't matter if you know damn well she's gone in one more week, leave. Congrats on the baby. I do hope your husband prioritizes his family first soon here. And OP replies, I will talk to him about setting a limit and trying to have that be the pressure of him needing to get her out of here. I don't want to be the one always forcing the issue down his throat. I hope he'll be conscious enough to have that at the back of his head so he can be proactive about the situation. I've been married 20 years now, but I went through almost this exact same scenario when my husband and I first married and we bought our first house. Husband's sister and her 2 toddler-age kids needed a place to stay while they sold their house and looked for a new one out of state. She moved into our new house the same day we did. It was supposed to be only a couple of months, but that turned into 3, then 4, and the next thing I know, 6 months had passed and no progress had been made. All similar problems to what you are facing now. I finally woke up one morning and told my husband that I was going to work that day, and when I got home, I wanted an exact date of when his sister will be out of the house. If I didn't have it, I was going to be packed up and moved out by the end of the week. When I got home, he gave me a date, and she and the kids were gone within a couple of weeks. Put your foot down. Don't just threaten or give him a guideline. Ask for specific dates, time, and details so that no one is confused or unclear about what is going to happen. Also, it is his sister. He needs to run interference. It is not your job to do that. And if you piss your in-laws off, too bad. One less problem you need to deal with while you have a new baby. And now, onto the update. First off, thank you all for the advice and suggestions. I sat down with a lawyer and talked about if it's possible for the sister to be considered a tenant, and if so, can we charge rent? Well, luckily, in my state, my sister-in-law isn't considered a tenant, so I would not have to charge rent. I also wouldn't have to serve her with any type of tenant eviction, as there is no binding contract. Because of this, I have obtained a notarized letter that is allowing her 30 days to pick up her things and leave. I'm being courteous enough to give her that much time. I've decided to do this before sitting down and speaking to my husband about the issue. After I obtained the notarized letter, I spoke with my husband. I told him about how I feel like my home looks like a mess, how I shouldn't be the one taking care of his sister and children, being pregnant, and how she should be responsible enough to be able to take care of herself. We both agreed to sit down with her and talk to her. The next day, as we sat down and talked with her after we got home from running some errands, I let him talk. I let him tell her that she was no longer welcome in our home. He told her the reasons, like being a slob, not picking up after her children, not contributing to our household in any way, and making my pregnancy a living hell. I realized how it sort of painted him to have to tell her that, but it's something that she needed to know. While having this discussion, she retaliated and said that she was being attacked and wouldn't leave because she didn't have elsewhere to go. I told her she did. She could go to my in-laws, other family members, but inside my home to live in, she was no longer welcome. She made the smart-ass comment of saying, "You're going to toss me out in the middle of a pandemic?" And I said yes I am. I told her that she has people to go and live with, that my home wasn't her new nesting ground, and that she should have thought about the comment that she just made when her baby daddy kicked her out. I pulled out the eviction notice and told her she has 30 days to get her crap together, or else I'm going to be calling the cops to have her removed from my home. My husband wasn't too proud of it, and was mad that I would actually serve her with a notice. I told him right in front of my sister-in-law that if she doesn't leave in 30 days, that I will, and he will not be allowed to see me or the baby until she's out of the house. I told him I didn't bust my ass working so she can enjoy the luxuries and commodities that I've been working so hard to enjoy myself. She won't have her own room at my in-laws? Oh well, go get some job experience and get an apartment. Can't get your baby daddy to stay with you because you can't seem to learn how to cook or clean, or have a basic sense of maintaining a household? Should have thought of that before opening your legs and deciding to get pregnant again with a third child. All in all, she's been served with an eviction notice, and I've packed my bags in case she doesn't leave. I've taken a picture of my valuable items in my home and pictures of her current living situation. Dirty rooms, the mess she leaves laying around for days, the kids not being fed a proper meal, everything. My lawyer has recommended that if she does not leave and my husband decides to have her stay, then he would be responsible and I should consider filing for divorce. I set my foot down and I listened to you all. Thank you again for your comments and supportive advice. I will keep you updated as the situation progresses. Good for you for having the gumption, strength, and courage to stand up for yourself, plus having the wherewithal to get the eviction notice done and the photos taken. I'll be interested in the update. Very proud of you. Stay strong. I hope your husband makes the right decision and stands with you at the 30-day mark. To be honest, she should count her lucky stars you were being reasonable enough to give her 30 days notice. If this was me, and she disrespected my house and me like that, she'd be out. Pandemic or no pandemic. Your husband should support your decision, as you were doing it for both you and your child. Thank you for having the courage to stand up, and not just sit and take it. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we are all rooting for you, and I'll keep looking out for the 30-day update. Stay strong. And now on to the last and final update. So after I gave her the notice, I got the cold shoulder from my sister-in-law and my husband for about a week or so. I absolutely hated having to sleep beside my husband, knowing he disliked what I did. Eventually, he came around and realized what this was doing to our family when, in an instance, he was working from his office and the babies were out in the living room, some crying non-stop, and she was in her room while talking on the phone. That's when he saw and realized that she was being neglectful, realized the rift that this was causing in our family, and he knew something needed to be done about it. During this time that sister-in-law wasn't talking to me at all, she posted comments about me on social media and tried to, in a way, drag me for the decisions I made regarding her living situation. Well, family members who were aware of the situation sent me screenshots, and I kept it for court records if necessary about what she was saying about me online, calling me toxic, and that I thought that I was better than everyone else because I had everything, and that if it weren't for her brother, my husband, that I wouldn't have what I have now. Well, not that it matters, but I am very well set off with the business I decided to run 2 years ago, so I don't need your brother's money, but nice try. I did gather some informational packages about childcare and where she could go and drop off her kids for free, and some well-trusted places and so on so she can get a job and attempt to make some progress. But she threw them out. Hey man, I tried. At around maybe like 25-ish days was when she moved out, and her baby daddy ended up taking her back. I had the locks to my home changed and was able to restore some peace into my home. My husband's family had mixed feelings about the situation and how it was handled, but if no one else was going to show her some form of tough love or be responsible for their own blood acting like this, then I don't know who would. It was so easy for some to judge when they weren't even willing to help her out at all. It really sucks that it went this far and that my husband only gets to see his nephews on occasion, but I guess better me than blood family, right? If it were my Hispanic family members in this position, they would have been booted out of their household without hesitation until they figured it out. And that's the kind of tough love that I grew up with. Sounds a bit harsh, but definitely does work. I don't know, I feel somewhat shitty, but also, I would never take advantage of someone else's hospitality the way she did. I'm coming up very close to my due date, and as I get bigger and a little more unable to do much around the house, I'm just glad that it's clean. Thank you all once again for riding in this journey for me, and if by any reason there are any future updates, I will let you know. Quote, my husband's family had mixed feelings about the situation and how it was handled. No. My husband's family got scared that they would have to take in this mess of a sister now that I put my foot down. Fix that for you, OP. Her husband isn't much for only kind of, sort of seeing the problem when he was directly affected. Husband's family really enjoyed acting like they could judge the OP so she could be the scapegoat for the family. I hope she keeps her baby as far away from these folks as possible. They created the mess called sister-in-law and refused to clean it up. It's a good call to go low contact or no contact. This exact thing happened in my family. My brother has a weird toxic relationship with my sister. No, not like that. Just that even though he knows she lies and is impossible for anyone to be around, he nevertheless always takes her side. He married a woman from another country and brought her to ours. He understood that they would live together and start a family. Well, cue my sister getting thrown out of whatever living situation she was in again and moving in with them. It's been years now, and they all three live in a 2-bedroom apartment. From what I can tell, my brother's wife and my sister hate each other, and my brother refuses to intervene, saying they have to work it out. I'm not going to list all the ways my sister is awful, but she's not just annoying or messy, she's cruel and violent. She had drug addictions and so on. I don't know why my brother's wife stays. Maybe she doesn't want to return to her home country. I don't know what her status is. I stay completely out of it. Regular life is crazy enough without that circus. This problem didn't start when she was 22 and about to have her 3rd kid. This kind of problem starts when as teenagers or younger, kids don't have any responsibilities or someone else is always cleaning up behind them. I honestly thought the husband was going to be out the door with the sister, which happens far too often when people let toxic family members rule the roost. The story paints a picture that the sister-in-law has never been held accountable for her own actions. If she was staying in my house, she would have been made to clean up after herself or been kicked out after 1 week, never mind 8 weeks. People put up with way too much BS. Our next post is titled, "My girlfriend, 27 female, did the sweetest thing for my brother, 9, and now I know she's the one." My parents moved him to another school towards the end of the school year, and he had trouble making friends. He still invited his whole class to his birthday party that was on Friday, but nobody came. None of the kids. It was really heartbreaking seeing all the empty tables when he was really looking forward to it. My girlfriend of 4 years decided to call her brothers, asking them to come over. Then she took off to go pick up her nephews. They were a little older, but they were still really nice to my brother. She called up her friends with kids. It wasn't a ton of people, but it was way more than before, all thanks to her. My little brother was so happy playing in the jumper with her nephews and brothers. They were all play wrestling with him. He had such a good time. It was nice that everyone came and was being so nice to him, but I'm also just super grateful to my girlfriend because she made it happen. I was watching her that whole time going, wow, I want to marry this woman. She's the one for me. Now I'm literally browsing online for engagement rings. Your little brother was playing with his future family. I love this. Gave me all the feels. I wish you the best life ever. And OP replies, that's all I kept seeing. Thank you. I was thinking also that they sound like really good people to drop everything to be there and to treat your brother with such kindness. This is a huge bonus. If y'all decide to have kids, they will be your kids' family. I'm all excited for you. This is silly. I don't even know you, but yay. And OP replies, yeah, her family is pretty great. Even if my girlfriend hadn't offered to give them a ride to the party, I know they still would have shown up. Her nephews are really good kids. We do want kids in the future, so I'm happy to know they'll have some fun uncles and cousins to hang out with. As someone who recently had his 5-year-old not have anyone show up to his birthday party and saw him get crushed, like everyone flaked out, yeah, she's not just pulled off something amazing, but may have made a life-changing difference. Now, how are you going to learn what her ring size is, brother? And OP replies, I'm really sorry to hear about that. It's a really heartbreaking feeling, especially for a little kid. I hope you guys were able to do something to cheer him up. My dad and I were thinking of taking him somewhere so he didn't focus on that, but luckily my girlfriend came to the rescue. That is a good question too. I don't know if I could just take one of the rings she already has, as she's got a bunch of them, and find a place that could maybe figure out the size. If anyone has got any ideas on how to figure this out covertly, I'm open to hearing it. As a girl who owns lots of rings, I think I could use this advice. Don't select any ring your girlfriend owns, because if she's anything like me, she has several different sizes and rings for different fingers. Also, both of my ring fingers wear different sized rings. Just an FYI so you don't choose a ring that won't fit the right finger. Good luck, man. And now, on to the update. She said yes. I proposed to her on Sunday after we decided to go on a camping trip. Y'all, she would not let me even finish my speech that I spent all week practicing for nothing. I know some of you were telling me ways to figure out her ring size without her getting suspicious, but I just wasn't built for that level of stealth, so I brought in her sister to help me. My girlfriend, my fiancé, was crying. I was crying. She said yes, and that's all that matters to me. She's made me the happiest guy. Seriously, I'm still beyond happy that it all worked out. We haven't been able to stop smiling at each other anytime we're in the same room, and I love it. All that's left is the wedding and the rest of our lives together. Congratulations, man. I read your old post, and she's awesome. I'd be lying if I said I didn't fall in love with her a little after reading about her. You are lucky to have found each other, and your brother is lucky to have such a nice future sister-in-law. I wish you both good luck. And OP replies, trust me, I fell even deeper in love when I didn't know that was possible. She is amazing. I'm a really lucky guy. My brother will love when he finds out that she'll be his sister now. I mean, not that she wasn't before, but it'll be more official after we're married. There are great people you meet in life. They make an impact you'll never forget. Some aren't there forever, but those that are, you treasure and adore. OP is definitely doing that right. She is a true gem, and if they decide they want children or don't, or just want to adore their nieces and nephews or friends' kids, you can tell she will be a beloved person in the kids' lives. Aside from the cute, obvious thing, you can tell that she came from a good, healthy family because she asked them to go to a stranger party, that they don't know the kid well, and they said, yeah, sure, we'll make that kid happy, and stopped whatever they were doing to make a negative experience become a positive one. OP, congratulations. She's a gem for sure. Yeah, it wasn't even just the adults who came through, but the older kids who at that age can sometimes pull an attitude or get whiny. OP married into an awesome family. When my son was 5, he wanted to have a Halloween party. We were homeschooling, so he made all the decorations, planned games. We took cooking classes and he made, with my help, all the decorated cookies. He asked us, and we got laser pointers and a simple smoke machine to create fog and see the laser beams for a game that he invented. We were new to the country, so my then husband suggested inviting his colleagues' kids. We had been to parties and playdates with these little ones, so we sent invitations happily. My son and I worked all week. I had never seen him so invested, and then every single frickin' parent cancelled on the same day. Found out later they were invited to a better, not homemade party. Luckily, I had like an hour before the actual party. We had an awesome cleaning lady, because in Ecuador, service people are really humble and poor. I saw them badly treated on a constant basis. The cleaning lady had a small son. I called her up and asked if his little one and friends would like to come. When I explained the situation, she suggested to call next door's house sitter. She had 2 kids with 3 small cousins that lived nearby. No one of these kids had ever had a Halloween party or a big party of any kind. So on my way to pick them up, I bought simple one-piece costumes for everybody. The kids and my son had a blast. I had never seen any kids as happy as these ones. They enjoyed every game, loved the lasers and fog, ate everything in a whim, thus convincing my son that he was an awesome chef, and left with the tons of goodies my sons had made. We never ever invited the posh kids to any birthday or Halloween again. All of the moms of the kids that came later told me that the kids talked about the party for days, kept some decorations for months. The Halloween parties became their event of the year. We had 4 of them. And that's where I'm going to end today's story, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.